Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Noah Unleashed. If you're new here, hi, I'm Melball and I like watching Japanese wrestling. And this is Noah Unleashed, a weekly news and review show where I talk all about pro wrestling. Noah, if you're not new here, welcome back to the glorious, glorious chaos that is your Melball. I've got a great show to talk about today. We're talking about what night is it? Night three of the N1 Victory Tournament. So that's going to be the September 13th show. I'm tired. I watched it live. I was live tweeting. I was having a great time. But before we get into talking about that, you guys, I need you to like the video, subscribe to OLE, and turn on notifications to be alerted every time we walk? This is going to be a fun episode. Drop a new video. So without further ado, let's get into night three. As I mentioned, we are talking about night three of the N1 Victory Series, September 13th, started at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. I wish 2 a.m. my time. I got up at about 1:30 to make myself a snack to get ready for this. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Match one was a six-man tag team match featuring Dragon Bane, Alpha Wolf, and Junta Miyawaki taking on Kai Fujimura, Alejandro, and HAYATA. Was nice to see HAYATA again. I've been missing HAYATA. So HAYATA and Miyawaki having some fun at the beginning of this match. Really good, solid junior start. Very reminiscent of their tag kind of feud last year. Hitting that atomic drop and drop kick on Miyawaki. Alpha Wolf with a sick chop to Alejandro. His chops are so loud. And then Alejandro hits a massive arm drag as well as a tiger fang kick. And then nom noms on Alpha Wolf for once. For once, someone got nom nommed got to nom nom on Alpha Wolf, and he got violently ill afterwards, sounding like a poor cat about to hork a hairball. Good times. Good times. Fujimura not falling for the distraction from Bane and eating an entire, or sorry, falling for the distraction from Bane and eating a knuckle sandwich before Alpha Wolf noms on the fingers in the corner. Some little subtle revenge there. Miyawaki and Fujimura not really liking each other lately. You gotta get those two in the ring, let them settle their differences, exchanging chops, but Miyawaki also hitting a drop kick. Alpha Wolf again nom-nomming on the shoulder and the hand of Fujimura. Dragonbane misses the handspring back elbow, but immediately feeds a jumping knee because he's just so quick and good on his feet. Miyawaki hits his second rope plancha to HAYATA on the outside. Everyone in just popping everything off at this point, which ends with HAYATA hitting an atomic drop and DDT. The finish comes with All Rebellion hitting Tope con Hilos onto Los Copiadores on the outside. Meanwhile, HAYATA on the inside hits a big old brain buster to Miyawaki for the win. And then just kind of like, yeah, cool, we did this by piecing out. Really nice, fun, high energy starter for the evening. Got me awake, that's for sure. So match number two here was a three-way tag team match featuring Hajime Ohara and Atsushi Kotoge taking on Harutoki and Daiki Odashima taking on Masa and Black Mensore. This is going to be a very gloriously chaotic match if Mensore has anything to do with it. That was my first note of this. And second one was I cannot express the happiness that I feel when I hear Harutoki's music and see him come out. The music just sets the vibe so good. I think it's Mark Anthony Vivir Mi Vida, I think is what it's called. I'll put a ouch. I'll put a picture of it here. Oh, J Keys. Okay. Anyway, Kotoge and Odashima starting out like actually wrestling while Mensore was just kind of like walking around like the ref, like, oh yes, very good, very good. Yes, headlock, yes. It was Mensore be mensorating. So Amaska, Harutoki, and Ohara all in, and Harutoki gets both in a headlock before hitting a double lariat. Very, very fun little spot. The rope walk ends with everybody minus Amaska shaking the ropes and knocking Mensore onto his Mensores. We know he wanted to be involved, though. You know, in his heart, he wanted to, but in his head, he's like, that's unfortunately my partner in this match. Assisted wheelbarrow face slam, I think Pasadora face slam by Kotoge and Ohara. Odashima hitting his signature gut wrench suplexes on Mensore. The finish, however, comes with Amaska hitting that tope corkscrew that he does into everybody, tosses Harutoki in for Mensure, who hits a body splash, but Harutoki, just that ring awareness, rolls through and pins Mensure for the win. Poor Amaska. He's just out there like, what the hell? He ends up leaving because, like, my dude, my guy, mi hermano en Cristo, you had one job. One job. Amaska, though, I mean, very legendary partner. Who could ask for a better partner than Amaska? We'll have to ask Hiromu Takahashi after he is involved in their match, I believe, on the 17th. So, moving into match number 3, this is the first N1 tournament match of the night, and it is a Block B match featuring Galeno taking on Daiki Inaba. So the crowd really, really comes alive when Galeno comes out. Very, very much a crowd favorite and very beloved by the entire fandom of Noah. And he really much acknowledges the crowd high-fiving and knuckling with everybody. That gets brownie points for me as someone who, even in the indie scene, I see that kind of not really happening when it's kind of the most imperative time to be happening. So Inaba starting with all the shoulder tackles, but Galeno. That's a funny little typo. Galeno not going down at all and then hits a block of his own, knocking Inaba to his back. Galeno hitting the ropes, picking up speed for that big body splash, but Inaba moves and then hits a splash instead. There was a Texas cloverleaf done by Galeno on Inaba. Looks really, really cool. There was that corner spear that we've been seeing Inaba doing where he kind of almost perches on the second turnbuckle with his feet, holds on to the top ropes, and then just kind of springs from the corner there. He tried it once. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to grab it the first time. However, the second time he does go for it. It is what are we going to say, locked on target, affirmative, go for launch. Huge lariato from Galeno for 2. Inaba nailing that, what am I trying to say? The spear in the corner, as well as that cannonball that he does, and then also doing a double underhook suplex, but Galeno kicks out. The finish comes with Galeno hitting that Michinoku driver, but only getting a 2, which he follows up with that Galeno special. And Galeno gets 2 more points in the tournament. What a fun match. So I was telling you guys in the last couple of videos, I was going to pick my Block B, my Block A matches of the night for you to watch and give you more details on that one. But this night, this whole show was absolutely solid. So I have pretty much the same amount of information for everybody. I'm going to try to talk like this, and I'm going to try to give you as much information as I can, because this night was just, as a wrestling fan, I couldn't have asked for a better night. So, moving on to match number 4, which was another Block B match. Naomichi Marufuji taking on Jack Morris. Kick bounce at the beginning between Marufuji and Morris to start it off. I'm not going to complain about that. Not one bit. Pace of this match, starting off a little slower, kind of felt like this match felt like expanding on Morris's character. As I mentioned, I started watching in December, so I've always kind of seen Jack Morris being that bad guy. He was in Team 2000X at this point. I believe Good Looking Guys was also a heel faction. So seeing Morris kind of wrestling face and seeing the crowd cheer for him has kind of been like really, really nice to see, but also has been, and this tournament has been an opportunity to kind of showcase that goodness. knife-edge chops on the outside by Marufuji to Morris on every post, just walking him to everyone. I did half expect Morris to move at one point, but no, never did. Ate all of those chops. More chops in the ring from Marufuji. There was a big missile drop kick by Morris, and then also hitting a number of kicks on Marufuji. Got chops back and forth, and Morris firing up on them and then knocking each other both down. A Falcon Arrow by Morris, 4-2. There's a jumping knee in the corner by Marufuji. The kicks. Somehow Jack Morris is able to avoid some of them, which is phenomenal. Series of reversals, though, ends with a hook kick, pump kick, and a good-looking knee from Morris for 2. The finish comes with Morris hitting a good-looking knee, immediately followed by a Tiger Driver for the win. Post-match, we got a handshake. I gotta let Auntie Collins know if she wants some real honor in the ring. We need to start watching pro wrestling. Noah, lots of sportsmanship lately. I say that before we get to anything involving Team 2000X. But yeah, it was nice to see the handshake at the end. Marufuji, sometimes, when you see him with Keno, you almost think, well, he's not so fun to work. No, he's very fun to work with, very obviously, if you can work with Jack Morris. So, moving on to match number 5, we have a Block A match with Kenta taking on Daga with Yoshitatsu. Daga wrestling very aggressively, very viciously in this match, which, he needs to. This is a world champion. There's one point where he's got him in the headlock, and every time Kenta tried to escape, Daga would grab the hair and kind of pull him right on back. I liked it. Nice little heel thing, kind of got the crowd fired up, got the crowd angry, but something Kenta has been doing this tournament is returning in kind. We saw it with Crazy Kaito, we got Crazy Kenta, and that was a treat. And then we saw him start returning the hair grab and hair pull on Daga when Daga was trying to get away from the headlock. There's one point also where both men are just standing there with their hands just full of each other's hair, and it reminded me of high school. At one point, Kenta beaking at Tatsu, and then I'm like, yo, you really got to pay attention. It's Daga. Can't be turning your back to him. Daga hanging Kenta up in the ropes and then drop kicking him to the outside where Tatsu be Tatsuing. Tatsu be Tatsuing. That's going to be a verb now. Daga tossing Kenta around into the barricades. It just Team 2000X shenanigans, which, it's tournament setting. You got to do what you got to do. Daga with a drop toe hold and then an elbow drop to the back, which he follows up with a knee breaker on Kenta. Daga getting to work on the left leg of Kenta, locking in a half crab. Kenta running Daga into the post twice before hitting a DDT for 2. STF by Kenta on Daga, which he drags himself to the ropes to escape. Junwoo dropkick followed by the double stomp by Kenta, but Tatsu be Tatsuing and pulls out the ref. So Daga trying to strike with Kenta immediately. I was like, yo, what are you doing? Don't do that. It ends with him firing up Kenta, but Daga does hit a Frankensteiner for 2. The finish comes with Tatsu getting on the apron, but when Kenta goes to confront him, Kenta sidesteps an incoming Daga, who then takes out Tatsu, and then Kenta follows up with a GTS, and he gets his first points in the tournament. This was fun. This was a fun match. I told you guys that Daga was going to be a person to watch in this tournament, this match. Every time he gets into the ring, I keep telling you. It is good to see everyone so far picking up points slowly in Block A. At this point, there's still one more person who doesn't have any points yet, and that is in match 6. Ulka Sasaki, Ulka Sasaki taking on Masa Kitamiya with Tadasuke. Kitamiya coming into the tournament, or coming into this match right now with 4 points, Ulka Sasaki with none. Kitamiya coming out and showing off a fan cheering for him, which was nice to see, and then he finds the fan not cheering for him and proceeds to yell at them and beat up Mensore and Odashima. So Sasaki working very slow and very smart in this match, focusing on the left arm of the chairman early on. Kitamiya returning the favor though, on the left arm and then refusing to let go when Sasaki tosses him over at one point, keeping on that arm and tying up the, I can't remember what the hold is. I think it's just an arm hold behind the back. Sasaki readjusts and starts focusing on the ankle, tossing Kitamiya to the outside and into the barricades, much to the delight of the crowd. Kitamiya also adjusts, though, and flexes his power on Sasaki and starts sending Sasaki into the barricades, much to the dismay of the crowd. So Sasaki tries to come in at Kitamiya at one point and just gets tossed over the barricade. There's a released German followed by a shining wizard by Sasaki and Kitamiya. Kitamiya starts absorbing all of the kicks from Sasaki to the chest, but the ones to the tape knee a little hard to ignore. Started to have an impact on him right there until it didn't. Sasaki hitting a cutter though, followed by. I didn't write down what he did after then, but he got a 2 count out of it. Hit a cutter. The finish comes Kitamiya tossing Sasaki to the ropes where Tadasuke hits him with the chair right in front of the ref. Ref sees and disqualifies Kitamiya. However, it didn't really matter. Sasaki continued to get beat up by Kitamiya and Tadasuke afterwards. Odashima tried to intervene. Odashima also got beat up. Kitamiya locks the stranglehold on Sasaki while Tadasuke proceeds to berate the crowd, and then at which point Kitamiya also takes the mic. I don't know what they were saying, but from what I've seen of clips on Twitter today, it just seems like Kitamiya is saying that he won the match, even though he got disqualified. I'm not gonna dispute it because the man terrifies me and I don't want him to yell at me because I'll cry. So we'll officially speaking, Ulka Sasaki gets 2 points. Kitamiya has been disqualified from this match. In the Labubu, Labubu parallel, Kitamiya won this match. So, moving on to match number 7 and the main event of the night was another Block A match. Manabu Soya taking on Kazuyuki Fujita. So Soy, oh my god. I went through most of the show without having too many kaplurplurps, and now I'm kaplurping, you guys. Soya, drinking the drink, the Genki drink that Kazuyuki Fujita brings out himself and getting super donutsu for this match, which I appreciated. Immediately into the big meaty man slapping meat. Going back and forth with the shoulder blocks, with the chops, the strikes, just neither one going down. On the outside, tossing each other into the barricades. Soya really working over Fujita here with the chops as well in between the barricades. There's a single leg crab by Fujita on Soya, but Soya is able to jonitsu his way to the ropes. Figure 4 by Fujita and really twisting and wrenching on the ankle of Soya. But again, Soya is able to make it to the ropes. There was a bulldog by Soya, followed by the chops, but Fujita answers with his own. There was an avalanche suplex by Soya on Fujita, followed by a deadlift Death Valley driver. And he tries to follow up with a lariat, but Fujita hits his own instead. Lariats back and forth from these guys with Soya going for the leg, but Fujita having that scouted and kneeing him in the face instead. The finish comes with a massive lariat from Fujita, followed by that stacked powerbomb for the win. Very, very interesting series of events. Fujita picking up his 3rd straight win of the tournament. Very, very interesting show, you guys, and I went through that show really, really quick. I hope I didn't tongue tie too much. Anyway, so at the end of the night, you guys, the points for Block A, we have Kazuyuki Fujita sitting atop of Block A with 6 points. We have Masa Kitamiya with 4. And we have Daga, Kaito Kiyomiya, Tetsuya Endo, Manabu Soya, Ulka Sasaki, and Kenta, all with 2 points. For Block B, we have Jack Morris sitting on top of the block with 8 points. We have Galeno tailing behind him with 6. We have Ricky Knight Jr. and Naomichi Marufuji with 4. And we have Daiki Inaba, Harutoki, and Keno with 2 points. And unfortunately, Ozawa is sitting at 0 points. For tonight, because I need to go to bed soon to make sure I can get up for this. September 14th, we have for Block A, Manabu Soya taking on Tetsuya Endo. We have Kaito Kiyomiya taking on Kazuyuki Fujita. We have Kenta taking on Masa Kitamiya. For Block B, we have Naomichi Marufuji taking on Daiki Inaba. We have Harutoki taking on Ricky Knight Jr. And we have Keno taking on Jack Morris. Holy kishnikis, you guys. That brings us to the end of the episode. I did that in 20 minutes. I'm proud of myself. I definitely had some... I was definitely tongue-tied in this one, though, but I'm tired. That's what's going to happen when a Melball is trying to say so much when her head is moving 1,000,000 miles a minute and her mouth can only go 100. So, that being said, you guys, did you guys get a chance to take in this match? Did you guys get match the show? If not, highly recommend. Highly recommend. Every match on this show was just solid. Guys, got to get into it. If you want to check out all of the N1 Victory Tournament, I will leave a link to Wrestle Universe in the description box below. It is 1,298 yen, or approximately 13 Canadian. I think it worked out to like 9-ish pounds for any of my UK viewers. It's an amazing price to watch some amazing wrestling because you not only get access to Noah, you get access to Marigold, you get access to DDT, you get access to Tokyo Joshi Pro. There's 10 different companies on there now that you can get access to for just 13 Canadian or whatever that works out to your currency where you are. So, highly recommend you check it out and highly recommend you check out this night. Also, make sure you follow all of the wrestlers as well as Pro Wrestling Noah on all of its social medias. Speaking of social medias, make sure you like this video, subscribe to OLE, and turn on notifications to be alerted every time we drop a new video. And if you want a daily dose of me, your Melball, you can catch me on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can catch me on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, Blue Sky at Melball Collins. I will also leave links for the Pro Wrestling Noah's Japanese and English YouTube channels down below. It is some extra great content that you get to see some interviews, some funny matches. You can also get some funny behind the scene moments like Kaito Kiyomiya and Hayata participating in a spicy noodle eating contest. No words required for that one. So, that all being said, you guys, I am your Melba. Matane! Mwah!